Hi, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Neoshia. And you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives.
Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 53. It's Raining Men. Today, Neoshia and I will be talking about the season premiere of Castle Season 2, Deep in Death. This episode originally aired on September 21st, 2009. It was written by Andrew Marlowe and directed by Rob Bowman. So now that we've hit Castle Season 2, we get the Castle montage, right? In the intro with the voiceover and the whistling and everything. And that features a lot of scenes from Season 2, plus a couple from, I think, the premiere. And then I think later on they add more, right?
I think so, yes, because I definitely noticed that there was
There was one
one
more
from
in
the
this episode that was. I went back to watch the montage, and it's not in there. It's the one where she says, "Could I get some backup, please?" Right? That's in it later, I feel like.
I I actually don't recall because I think she says it in this episode, but when she's arresting the guy
Yeah,
at the
yeah, she
end,
does, but it's
it's not
not
the
in the
same thing.
montage, yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, what do you think about the addition of that? Because it's different. I don't recall seeing anything like that in any other police procedural.
I mean, it's catchy. It sets it apart, and they definitely used that on TNT when it went to syndication. Like, because I
Uh-huh.
think that's what I know. That's where I know it or remember it from more, right? Like that little montage and like some of the clips they play from there. So
Mhm.
I think it's a good addition.
I think the one that that sticks out to me most is his ruggedly handsome one. That's from season 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell by her hair, actually. Yeah, now that I think about it. Okay, let's go to the case briefing. The victim in this one is John Allen, which is a pretty plain name for a victim. I thought that was amusing.
Yeah.
The cause of death was strangulation. The killer was a Russian mobster. I mean, his motive was basically he was just shaking him down, right? So
Yeah.
guest stars, there was Elizabeth Ho. She played Amy, the Cosmopolitan reporter. She's from Disjoined and Tron Uprising. There was Laurel Holloman. She played the wife, Sandy, and she's from Angel and The L Word. There's David Bowie. When I saw his name in the credits, I was like, wait, what? I had to go back. I was like, is that David Bowie? But no,
Yeah. I
it's
had the
Bowie.
same thought. Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, he plays Max Haverstock, and he was actually in The Mentalist. He was in the episode Pretty Red Balloon, but I can't remember who he was in that. Do you?
No, I'm the worst person to ask.
Maybe like a family member or a lawyer or something. He kind of looks like a lawyer character.
Yeah, and I can see that he has 121 acting credits, so it seems like he's definitely been
Yes.
around.
He's been in a ton of police procedure like Bones, House, Cold Case, Criminal Minds. He's been around the block. And then there's Robert Gant. He looks really familiar, but I don't know if I've seen him in anything. He played Ron Bigby. He was in 13 Reasons Why, The Young and the Restless, and Supergirl. Do you recognize him from anything?
No. I always feel terrible because like I don't always recognize character actors, but then I know people who definitely do.
Hmm. Okay, let's get to the episode breakdown. So it opens with Castle doing a photo shoot with some scantily clad detectives in the station, and Beckett's watching in horror while the reporter Amy interviews her. And I just found this so amusing. But I guess like the setup here is that she has not allowed Castle back into like into their unit, right? Because and like it's been some time, I think, because her hair is longer, and there's references later between Ryan and Esposito about them being back together and stuff like that. So I think some time has passed, right?
Yeah, but I definitely get the feeling that she's like been icing him out. Like she's
Yeah,
not really talked to him.
yeah. So this photo shoot has actually given him a chance to get back in and see her again. So he's excited, but so they when the reporter mentions that Castle told her that he was essential to solving many of their biggest cases, she gets really upset. She goes to Montgomery and he's just like the stern dad, like, what do you want now? It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to play nice.
Yeah, she's not into it, but Montgomery is just like,
We need the press.
hmm.
Which was it, which was his explanation in the first season too, right? When it first started.
Yeah, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about police departments needing press, but I digress.
So Beckett, Esposito, and Ryan are in the break room. Castle pokes his head and he's trying to explain that, this was the magazine's idea. I didn't want to bring these girls in. But she's like, it's fine. But he tries to renew their conversation. What was so wrong about what he did? And this prevails through the episode where he's trying to understand why she's so mad and why she's actually following through with her saying that, if you look into my mom's case, we're done. Because I feel like he probably did it thinking, well, maybe she'll just forgive me because of what I offer her from what I found, right?
Yeah, he thinks that, I get this sense that he thinks that ends justifies the means, because
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't get why he doesn't get what he did wrong.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, it's 2009. People aren't really talking about boundaries like we are now, but like,
Mm-hmm.
he set a boundary and he crossed it, and he just doesn't get why she's upset, because he seems to think that since he found something, that should take care of whatever
But
it was
all
that made
is well.
right.
She tells him that, it doesn't matter what he found because she had said, don't do this. And so she's about to go back to Amy when the guys inform her that they found a body. And so Beckett's trying to leave Amy behind, but she's like, no, it'd be great. And so she comes along with them.
But I mean, like, how many non-police officers is she supposed to like take the crime
I
scenes?
don't know. She's such a
Kind of
baby
ridiculous.
for Beckett.
Yeah, she's like the apartment babysitter at this point.
So they get to the scene, and it's so funny because it's like the conversation picks up exactly where they left off, even though they clearly rode in the car together to get there. So I guess they didn't talk about it in the car, or do you think they drove separately?
I don't know.
And oh my god, he offers to buy her a pony, and it's so funny because that's like a scene that a lot of people latch onto in The Mentalist when Jane gets Lisbon a pony.
Mhm.
Like he literally gets her a pony.
Yeah, and
uh,
I never understood what happened to that pony.
I don't know either. I feel like me and Karen discussed it, and we came to the conclusion that it was probably a rental, not like an actual like I bought you a pony, because
Yeah, that would be better.
he knows carny people, so I feel like he probably just like borrowed an animal from from them, and then he returned it later after he like surprised her with it. I'm convinced that it pooped in her office.
And then she got rid of it. She's like, this is
So they get there though, and the body is in a tree. And this is where we get our episode title because they're all just like looking up in shock. And Cassie goes, "It's raining men," which for the younger listeners is a song. It's called "It's Raining Men." So
I hope they are familiar with that song.
yeah, maybe I should reference it in the show notes. You never know, right? I mean, there are a lot of young people who watch these shows, right? So
Yeah, but I feel like it's a, well, and I mean, you don't want to make too many assumptions about like our listenership, but it's also really popular on like drag circuits.
hmm.
So that's because I mean that's where I hear it. That's where I've
I
heard it
you
the
know
most.
what I remember it from the most is somebody did a cover of it on a season of American Idol that I really liked.
Mhm.
I gotta go look that up. I don't remember who did that. Okay, so Amy asked if it was a suicide, and Castle and Beckett answer at the same time, which is them being in sync. And this whole episode is kind of focused on getting them back together, right? So this is part of it. they're just trying to show us, they do still work together nicely. They always are on the same wavelength despite their differences. And I loved the little scene with the little part with Ryan and Esposito. I put that down as one of my favorite scenes when Ryan's like, guy in a tree, mom and dad bickering, seems like old times. Esposito's just like, mm-hmm. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, I found that cute. It's a nice little reminder of why they're a cute little family that we enjoy watching.
Yeah, because I mean, like Espo and Ryan are very much treating this like like they're flies on the wall and not getting involved. And
They're the kids in the divorce, and the mom has custody.
Mhm.
So Lainey speculates, based on what she sees, that he was strangled and thrown off the building, and Castle chimes in to inform Amy what ligature marks means, which makes Beckett just get all irritated again. And she sends him off to the morgue while they go do boring police stuff. And so she's sending her with the reporter. Do you call her a reporter or a journalist?
I think
If she writes for
journalist.
Cosmopolitan, is she
She's a journalist.
journalist? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that matters though.
Yeah, because reporter would be news, right?
Hmm.
So in the van, Amy doesn't want to ride with the body, so Lainey offers her a seat in the front, and she's going to ride in the back with Castle. And she gives him stink eye because she's in support of Beckett, and she's bad at Castle because Beckett's mad at Castle. And then he tells her what he found out, which is that there were three other murders of a similar fashion, and that they're all legal professionals, and they all happened around the same time, and that the ME at the time didn't make the connection, or that he buried it, and he died 4 years ago. And Lainey actually finds this really interesting, like interesting enough for where she actually perks up and seems like she wants to know what Beckett said after hearing that. But then the van is crashed into, and then armed people open the back and drag the body out, and they're pointing guns and everything. And then they take off. And that was another similarity with The Mentalist, because there was the episode The Red Mile. They don't show that, but basically the ME was going with the body back to the office, and then the body got stolen, right? That was with
Yeah,
Dr. Steiner.
yeah. So I was gonna say too, like, it's the murders are interesting because it's not just like the three other legal professionals. Like these are all people connected to her mom in some
Hmm.
specific way. And 4 years ago, I think, isn't that when she joined the force?
Is it? I thought I thought it was before that, because she would have been a beat cop before a detective, right? So,
Right. But I think because I think that's why the 4 years was relevant. Like it was around the time that she joined the force. At least
uh,
I'm thinking that. I might be wrong. That might just be headcanon gone amok. But like that's what I thought that was important, and I thought that's why
hmm,
Lainey had sort of had some interest there. But I do love that she kind of holds a hard line with Castle until
yeah.
Beckett says it's okay.
So yeah, they're back at the station, and they're talking about it, and Beckett says that maybe they just left evidence on the body and they just came to get rid of it. But Castle says it's too boring. He gives this whole like scenario of like spies and the CIA and everything. And Beckett tells him that that the lady Amy is gone, he can go home, but he insists that he's a witness because of the body snatching. So he's got to stay. And so she makes a deal with him and says that he can stay for the one case as long as he agrees to leave her alone after it's done. And he agrees, but says that he'll change her mind. And I guess Ryan and Esposito had a bet going on because Ryan has to pay up. He says, I didn't think she'd take him back. Oh, I wanted to know, did you see the font change in the credits?
I did, and I don't.
I don't
That's
like
not.
it. I don't like it at all. It's like really thick and very like I don't know. I'm
Isn't
not a
it supposed to be
fan.
like type font? Is that why they did it?
I don't know, but it looks terrible. I think they do change it back after a while because I don't remember it being like that for a while.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, because I actually don't remember this font at all.
Uh
And so I was
huh.
kind of wondering if this is something that they changed for streaming purposes, because I don't remember it being this
Yeah, I
way.
don't know. We'll have to see if it comes up in the next one. Maybe there was like some kind of font outcry after this aired, and they went back to the old one. I would have been there too. I would have been like, "Oh my god, change your font back. I hate it." Castle and Becky go to make the notification with the wife, and she tells him that he was just home and he went to the office to go do some work, and that he had just come back from a trip to Albuquerque. And Castle asks why he was working late, implying maybe that he was having an affair. And like she does eventually admit that he was getting a lot of late night calls from a man called Max Haverstock, who he fired. She said that her husband fired him, and so like he would like rant about all kinds of things. And then she asks to see the body, and they look around awkwardly. They're not very like even Beckett's not very subtle, right? She's just looking around like, oh,
Let me
because
get back to it.
so what was with the weirdness in the elevator after? Because she's talking to Ryan or Esposito on her phone, and then she looks at Castle weirdly, and then I don't know, they just look at each other strangely. What was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure because, like, I'm trying to remember the scene. I kind of thought she was talking about him. Like, she was talking about
Uh,
Castle, right?
I thought she was talking about Max Haverstock. No?
Maybe not. Like, because I thought that's, if it's what I'm thinking about, I thought she was talking about Castle still being there.
Oh,
But I
okay.
might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go back and with that in mind then. Castle goes home. Alexis rushes at him. She was so worried because apparently Beckett called to tell them what happened. Martha asks for an update on whether she's forgiven him, and he talks about how this is an opportunity. Castle reads Alexis's text. She's got like all these worried ones, and then when can I go out with Owen on Friday?
Very teenage
And
girl, definitely.
he can't believe that she wants to go out with her boyfriend instead of her dad. And like he even says, "What is wrong with you?"
I love that, like, she has, like, all these, like, I'm worried about you, worried about you. Can I go out with Owen? And then his reaction was like, you know, he kind of feigned that he was hurt. And, and she's like, well, I waited until I knew you were all right to text you that.
So at the station, they brought in Max Taberstock, and they're like, "Oh my god, this guy couldn't have done it because he just looks very like mousy and accountanty." Like I forget what Castle says, but he says he couldn't have thrown him off of a building. But the guy Max like goes on this tirade about losing his job, and when Beckett asks if that's why he killed the victim, he says, "No, we got fired together." And so that like confirms that they confirmed that the guy lost his job 8 months ago, and he's been lying to his wife the whole time. And then Beckett gets a call that they found his body again. So they go to the scene, and Lainey's there, and she shows them the body, which has all his organs cut out. And Castle says somebody hated his guts.
Yeah. Time and place castle.
So because Lainey found trace amounts of cocaine, which how did she do that on the scene in a wet body? She ran trace right there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was on the outside of the body. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but
Yeah.
you can imagine being what it is.
But so that leads Beckett to say that he was a drug mule, and Castle is skeptical because it's like, how do you become a drug mule when you're like a guy like him? You're like you're a white guy with kids and everything, and you have a good job. How do you meet? You have to know bad people. So
Mhm.
Laney notes a strange pattern in the bruising on his neck where he was strangled. So that's how they end up doing their undercover work later. So they end up getting a print off of the inside of the glove because Lainey, like, I guess she cuts one of the fingertips off the glove and turns it inside out, and they dust it for prints, and they get that. And then at Luther's, they were rebagging, I guess, the drugs because they're covered in blood because they just literally pulled it out of a guy.
Yeah.
So what exactly was this guy doing? Did he have to eat all of those bags?
Yeah, I think you had to swallow them, right? Like, because that's the whole thing. Like, you swallow them so you can get them through, or at least this is the TV version. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
swallow them and get them through, or you, like, stick them up your butt or whatever to get
Oh
them
my
through.
god. Oh my
Um,
god.
But I imagine that's why they removed his organs, is because they were in his like stomach and
Stomach.
intestines. Yeah,
Ugh, nasty. Ugh.
seems very dangerous. Like, because
I
what if
know.
it's first, right? You're gonna die.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen an episode where somebody did die because something popped inside of them while they were muling or something. I don't know. The whole thing just makes me all icky.
Yeah. Also, if you do cocaine, like your cocaine came out of someone's butt.
So Beckett is talking to a lawyer who he's the lawyer. How did these guys get a lawyer? They all seem like drug addicts from the way they are talking. But they were the ones who were arrested with the cocaine. But then they end up telling them that they should talk to Ron Bigby, which is such a weird name. He
Yeah.
works at how do you take seriously someone with the name Bigby? Like Rigsby sounds normal to me, but Bigby just sounds kind of silly. But they bring him in. He's clearly a coke addict because he's like sniffing and jumpy and frantic and everything like that. But he says that he ended up telling the victim, about what he did. He made 50 grand in one day. He like told him that at a poker game. So that gives Castle the in. He wants to go undercover and find the tattooed Russian at a Chinese triad run poker game in Chinatown. And they're skeptical about this, but he says that he can find out where it is. So he goes to his writer's poker game. He prods him for a tip. I think he start off with his whole "this is a book I'm writing" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they saw right through him, right?
Yeah, and they're trying to scare him off of that because they're like, basically, you've been hanging out with like this cop too much because
This is
you,
dangerous. This is
yeah,
crazy.
like, you're gonna go get in with the Russian mafia. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, so Stephen Cano is just telling him, "You must really like her if you want to do this." He tells her, "Just buy her flowers," which is a fair suggestion. But he does tell him where the game is. And I did want to note that the other person who was there was Michael Connolly, and they actually mentioned Harry Bosch, which I really liked because I love the Bosch TV series.
Hmm.
Haven't read the books yet though.
I've not read the books or watched the series.
Harry Bosch is a really good cop character. I love him. So Castle is outfitted with a button cam, which I thought was pretty high tech for this era, right? I mean, a button on his dress shirt, it's pretty small. It's not like a coat button that's kind of big. It's like a tiny one, but TV, right? So the plan is for Castle to find the Russian. They'll take his picture, and then he gets out. But we know that Castle's not going to go according to plan because when does he ever do that?
Never.
Beckett, Espo, and Ryan watch from the van. Inside, Castle can't. Before he went in, he was like, "How many Russians can there be in Chinatown?"
Which is a crazy question to ask. Like, yeah.
So he goes in and he can't believe how many Russians there are in there. And they're really amused because he's like recapping a conversation. They had told him, I think, when they're outfitting him that they can hear everything that he's saying, but he won't be able to hear them. And
Hmm.
so I guess Castle forgot that they could hear everything that he was talking about to the guy that he learned stuff from. And so he tells them everything. Ryan's like, let's just hope he remembers he's wearing a camera before he goes to take a leak. When Espo asks, he's like, trust me. So I guess Ryan has shown his parts to his fellow cops at some point.
Yeah, that and too. I was wondering like if he's been in the bathroom with Castle or something, and like Castle like does something embarrassing, like sing or something.
I don't know. I got the impression that Ryan had made that mistake himself, so he was speaking from experience. Castle goes to sit at the no limit table because I guess he had been just standing around talking into his microphone like as secretly as he could, but it wasn't enough. So Beckett is pissed, but and like Ryan says, Castle dropped half his yearly salary, like his pocket change. So the subtitle said 20,000, but I'm pretty sure Castle said 40. And I also don't think that NYPD detectives would make only 40,000. I feel like 80 is a much more reasonable number, even though that still sounds a little low for a detective.
Mm, Yeah, I don't know how much detectives make, but yeah, I think you're probably right that it's 40, not 20.
Yeah, I mean I heard 40, but yeah, it said 20. But Castle does that thing that I actually I think I've said before that I like when he does this, where he mentions that he's a writer. He wants to get authenticity for his next novel, and one of the Russians actually recognizes his name because the names of his titles. He's like, Derek Storm, why'd you kill him? They start speaking in Russian, and Castle's clueless, and so are Ryan and Esposito, and they're like, oh, he's making friends. But she tells them that they're talking about taking him for everything he has. And they're like, you speak Russian? And she says that she spent the summer in Kiev. Castle pretends to stretch so they can get a good view of their hands, and then, because he had joked that the guy strangled him with his pinky sticking up like tea,
Yeah,
which I liked. He wasn't very subtle with his stretching. Yeah, he was just like,
no.
"Eh, eh, eh."
I would if I were Beckett, I would be livid too because like I mean she's about to hit the roof, but like I'd be a little bit upset too because like he is in real danger in there and he's not
Yeah.
going, on what they talked about. He's not on target. He's kind of doing his own thing, which I mean I get that he might have to adapt to the situation, but yeah, he's going it alone, and he's kind of off on his own thing, and so I
Hmm.
get her frustration here.
So even worse, he starts spinning a tale that's a little too similar to the crime, and I get why he's doing it, but I feel like what he was doing was pretty reckless because all the details that he was giving in this story that he was writing was a little too similar to the crime. And I
Mhm.
don't know, do you think he did that intentionally but didn't really understand how dangerous that was, or if he was just taking that risk because he wanted to impress Beckett?
I think a little bit of both. Like, I
Hmm.
don't think he thought he was going to get accosted by the guy, but also I think he was just trying to like smoke him out, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tell a story, and whoever reacts to it is obviously the killer.
Hmm. Beckett notices that one of the men is spinning a prosthetic finger, which, oh my god, I found a little gross. Like, even though it was fake, just the way that he was spinning it around and around was, I was like, oh. So, with Castle in danger, Beckett asks for her bag. This, I guess, we've talked about her evening gown bag or something, right? In the past, where she must have something. She must have something
Yeah.
ready.
I mean, because all she did though, I don't know, did she actually put on a dress? Because I thought, no, you're right, she did put on a dress. I remember.
Yeah, because she
That's
took,
how I
like, her pants off and everything, but it kinda looked like it wasn't anything, like, overly risque or anything. It was more like it kinda looked like a sweater dress, and she just unbuttoned the front so that you could see her bra and stuff.
Yeah, like she was trying to look a little like I'm out on the town.
Yeah. But, she looked really good in that red bra, though.
Yeah, and she kind of tousled her hair out a little bit, right? The other
Yeah,
hair.
yeah. I really liked her hair in this episode, it looks really good. I like her shoulder length hair. But she walks up, she uses her charms and the goons at the door to get in. What did you think of her accent?
Yeah, it didn't sound great. I didn't love it. I think that's so obviously like over the top. But then again, like I've seen her in Stiletto, which is a movie that Sonic Addict did. It was before Castle, I think, like a year or two before Castle,
Uh-huh.
where the plot of it is her sister is killed, and so she goes on this like vengeance quest, if you will, and it's pretty much like Colombiana, but Slavic version of Colombiana.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure her character's supposed to be Russian, and like her accent was not that over the top. And so I don't know, like I don't know if she was told to like kind of put on a really crazy accent and try to sound like all these other people, because I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but almost every time a show has like a Russian plot or whatever, those actors are almost never Russian. And so like, accents are all over the place. And so I just kind of wonder if that's like the
So they're
direction.
just playing like a Hollywood standard of a Russian speaking English
Kinda like I don't
instead of
know.
actually being a Russian with an accent.
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't know if like that was on purpose or yeah, I don't know. Because I've also seen her because she did an episode of ER. It was a really sad episode actually, but I think she had a in that accent. or sorry, in that show she had I think she was Croatian actually. Yeah, she was
Mm.
Croatian because she actually I think is Croatian and Serbian in real life. Um, but like she was Croatian in ER, her character was, and so she had a Croatian accent, which did not seem fake. But she was also playing off against someone else who's from Croatia,
Mm.
so maybe they were like just be natural. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I have a
So
lot of, I guess.
so back in the poker game, Castle actually wins after the guy tried. The whole thing that was like he was trying to play on the fact that these people at this low limit game, they prey on people who are vulnerable by getting them to bet more than they actually have and taking them like all of their money basically. But Castle manages to win, and then he gets up after he goes to the kitchen, but the guy with the spinning finger, he follows him, pulls a gun on him, and Castle tries to insist that he's just a writer, but the guy doesn't believe him. He thinks he must be a cop because of all the details that he got right, which is what we were talking about earlier, right? Is the danger that Castle put himself in by giving a little too much accurate detail. But Beckett comes in and she pretends to be some, I don't know, floozy. Right? She's just like,
Yeah,
but she
play your
disarms the
part.
guy and yeah, so this is the scene that I think comes in later with the montage intro. She says, "Could you get some backup, please?" So, because I remember seeing that scene a lot, so I feel like it's going to be in there. Maybe it'll be added in the next episode.
Maybe, but also I was gonna say that whole like I feel like that's a common scam, right? That we see in these shows, like with the poker game, and like that's how they
Mm-hmm.
get people. It's because like they let you win one game or two, and then you start betting more and more and more, and
Mm.
all of a sudden you owe like $100,000.
I can't even imagine something like that.
I can't either. I don't like poker. I don't gamble.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
either. I don't like the idea of gambling at all for some reason. I'm the opposite of people who are gambling addicts.
mhm.
So at the station, Castle thanks Beckett for saving his life, and we get the Turner and Hooch scene. And I feel like this take is different from the one that's in the montage because she says the line a little differently. Because in the montage, she says, "You do remind me a little of Hooch," and the camera is closer to her face, but in the actual scene in the episode, it's further away, and she says it with a little bit slightly like a slightly different inflection in the line. So I thought that was interesting.
It could be because I do get the sense that in the intro it's meant to be more playful,
Yeah, yeah.
whereas like, when she says it in the aired version, it's still playful, but like not
It's a little
as
heavier, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because it's an emotional scene, right? He's trying to this he had said earlier, this is my opportunity to get back in with Beckett to get her to forgive me. And he didn't have a plan B, which is what Martha had asked about. And so he does it here. He brings up her mother's case and says that and he tries to plead a different way now. He's trying to because they've worked this case together, they close it together. He's trying to use that to say, well, now we can solve your mother's case together. It's going to be different. It's not going to be like last time. You're not going to be all by yourself, and I'll be there to help you, which I thought was nice. He means well, but at the same time, it's tough because she feels the way she feels, right? So,
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. I don't think he gets that.
yeah,
And so I really do like the final scene at his house before he comes back. But you know, he doesn't get why this offer of help isn't good enough. It's he literally did what she told him not to do
yeah.
and crossed the boundary, and he doesn't understand because he thinks he's made up for it. And it's just interesting to me because I don't know. It just seems like he's never met a consequence in his life,
Hmm.
um, which that can't be true. But
Plus,
like,
I feel like he doesn't. She can only say so much, right? She can only say, this really affected me, and I put it behind me. But I don't think that she can ever really truly convey just how bad it was for her and how much pursuing her mother's killer, what it did to her. So like you get that when she talks about it, but I feel like he doesn't really see that or hear that in her.
hmm
But she talks about it more here. She says, he dredged up her past for himself and that it was selfish and he can't even see that. So, she wants him to honor the deal, and so the case is closed, and he had sworn to leave her alone. So he gets up and leaves. So back at home, he's in his office and he's writing, and Alexis comes in and he tells her that, oh, it's time for me to write the book. She asks about Beckett, and he shakes his head, and then he asks about the movie date she was supposed to go with Owen to. And she says that he lost track of time playing video games, and by the time he remembered, it was too late to go. And she's like, why do boys do that? Why do they always try to explain? And why can't they just say they're sorry? And so this is Castle's light bulb moment, which comes from Alexis all the time without her really like intending to, but she does it. And I like that about how they close out episodes with Alexis. But yeah, he goes back to Beckett and he tells her that she was right about everything and that he's just very, very sorry. And it works. As he's walking away, she says, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, all he wanted was the apology, right? Like to acknowledge that he'd done what she had asked him not to do.
Yeah, so did you feel that that was enough? Like, were you satisfied with this conclusion of their little breakup hiatus kind of thing? Like, do you think him just genuinely saying sorry was just what she wanted?
I mean, that's all he can do, right? Like, because he's already, sort of let the cat out of the bag, and he
Yeah,
did what he was supposed to do and told her what he found. So, I mean, like, just saying I'm sorry that I didn't respect your boundary is, I mean, that's all he can do. But it's also, and I've been thinking about this a lot for different reasons, but like the difference between an excuse and an explanation. And he's been trying to explain and then other times excuse his
hmm,
behavior. Like he has the explanations of like, here's why I did it. I can help you. You won't be alone this time. And then he has the excuses of, but look what I found. You
yeah,
know, to like find ways to rationalize what he did, as opposed to just owning up to the fact that he did something she asked him not to. And so I think for Beckett being kind of a straightforward person at this point, it makes sense that that's all she wanted to hear was like, hey, I'm sorry that I did that.
yeah. But yay, they wrapped it up.
To me, it kind of reads like that's all she wanted was just like a little accountability. But like, how did you take that?
I mean, the reason I was asking was because, I mean, on the surface, to me, like it ties up nicely because, Alexis gave him this idea and he went to go do that. And it turns out to be that's what she wanted. And now everything's okay. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels a little too easy because I mean, I don't know. They've talked about it through the episode, and like I guess like from what he also says at the end that he does understand a little bit more like what he truly did and how that affected her. But yeah, I don't know. It is just a TV show though, so and they needed to wrap it up in one episode. So to get the show back onto its normal scheduled procedural shenanigans, right?
Yeah.
Okay, watches Beckett's hair watch. We talked about this a little bit, but oh my god, her hair looks really good now. I love this length. She ends up getting much longer hair, and it looks like she's got a lot more of it later. But I like how it is now. So,
Yeah, I don't, there's something about the cut that I don't really like.
mm.
Or maybe it's just how it's styled. But yeah, I mean, it's shoulder length, light brown. And she will soon, I'm sure, have her classic extensions put in. So
There were a lot of pop culture references in this episode.
there were, yes.
Yeah, he mentioned CSI when Lainey's cutting the finger off the glove. Like I said, there's the Harry Bosch mention, and he even gives the name of Stephen J. Cannell's book. I think it was King Khan. Yeah, King Khan. What is the 007 reference? When was that?
Uh, oh, so when he's undercover and he's like starts talking about
Oh,
like
yeah, that's right.
when he's like talking to them and the guys are like 007, James Bond. Like he'll never miss an opportunity to play James Bond or something like that. One of the guys says it.
So he compares them to Starsky and Hutch, Tango and Cash, and Turner and Hooch. I've never seen Starsky and Hutch, but I used to love Tango and Cash. That's Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, see, that's the one I haven't seen. I haven't seen Tango and Cash, but I've seen the other two.
Ah, Just to warn you, there's some torture in that movie, so in case that's something that you don't like. And then Turner and Hooch is a Tom Hanks movie. And Hooch is a dog, in case people don't understand when she says, "You do remind me a little of Hooch."
Not just any dog, it's a Saint Bernard, right?
Yeah, or I don't know. Is it? No, it's one of wait.
It looks like a Saint Bernard, but it doesn't have all the hair. It's not like Beethoven, but it's like kind of they got that same shape of the face. It's a bigger dog.
It's a French Mastiff.
Uh, it's a
Kind of
nice big dog.
looks like a big pit kind of dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, I was surprised he didn't mention Lethal Weapon. Like there was no Lethal Weapon reference. Because that's the
What
one I think that people normally go to.
what were their character names in Lethal Weapon? I can't think of it.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No new Martha isms this week, but looking forward to her next one. I always enjoy what Martha has to say. So, author's notes: Castle asked Lainey when she's cutting the finger off the glove whether she's ever considered becoming a mole. So I had to look this up, and it's this person who circumcises male babies.
Oh.
So I guess there's a because she's cutting the tip off of the finger.
Yeah, probably because she's being like so precise about it. Because you have to.
I was amused. Casket Corner. The whole episode is basically them making up, so I feel like there were a lot of little moments between them that I really liked. Bestseller list. I love the poker scene because I eat it up when he uses his fame to like insert himself into some some kind of sting operation. And then I liked all the scenes where Ryan and Esposito were just goofing around and making comments, like the mom and dad one and like the betting thing. And Esposito made a couple of comments to Beckett about her hot status, right? What did she
Yeah,
do? She when she pulled out her accent, right, in the van, he was like, "That's kind of hot."
yeah, like because she like just translates for him, so they're like, oh, that's kind of hot. And then she does her like yeah, and she does the whole like accent with like how she would pretend to be a student from Kiev.
Okay, what about you? Favorite scenes?
If I had to pick from this episode, I definitely like the scene where Castle kind of has a real, where Alexis helps Castle have a realization
Hmm.
of what like Beckett was looking for. Because, like you mentioned, like it's always nice to have these scenes with Alexis, and usually without her even knowing it, she is Castle's breakthrough.
Yeah. She's his Beckett muse.
Yeah, or I mean, like I think it's kind of it's a little I don't know. To me, it's a little endearing that he's a dad of this teenage daughter, and it's usually through her eyes that he's able to like have these like world changing perspectives or moments where he figures something out because of something that she said. And so, I mean, I think that's one just how much he's there for her, and how much their relationship means to him. And then two, just like, I think further evidence that Alexis isn't here to just be some dumb kid, right? Like
Yeah.
Alexis is for a reason.
So favorite lines, I like the one in the beginning that I mentioned, the guy in a tree, mom and dad bickering, seems like old times. And then I liked when Beckett was gonna go into the poker game, he says, "What are you gonna do? Lip gloss him to death?"
Which was a fair question at that point. Because like,
He didn't know what's in her bag, right?
yeah, I mean like you look like a cop. How are you going to go into this bar? They're not gonna let you in. And also, I guess this is the one time her like ungodly heels come in handy. But
Mm,
she's able to just take the pants off, and I'm not even sure if that's an actual dress. To be honest, I think it's just a sweater.
yeah, a long sweater.
Yeah, like I don't even think it's a real dress. Like, because she's trying to like play it up, right? Like she's just there to hang out, and she has to look hot to get in too, right? Like they're not just
Yeah.
gonna let somebody. So my line was the James Bond line, and you mentioned the follow up line already, but like it's when Espo says, "Give a guy a gadget, he thinks he's Bond," and then Ryan responds with, "Let's just hope he remembers he's wearing a camera before he takes leave."
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back with a new Beckett's interrogation. We'll see how Neosha does.
Terrible.
Okay, we're back with a new Beckett's interrogation. The way this works is I'm going to ask 6 questions about the episode we just discussed, and you'll have 5 seconds to come up with the answer. Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
This one's kind of hard, this quiz in general. So
I bet it
I'm sorry in advance.
I could not figure out for the life of me what you might ask, and I watched this episode 4 times.
Oh my god.
Let me up.
Okay. Question 1. According to Max, what does the D in D-Day mean?
Oh, this is the day they got fired. So, um, what did he say? Dead on arrival. I don't know.
Downsizing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Question 2. Which finger was missing from the victim's bruise pattern?
The pinky.
Yeah, there you go. Question 3. Between which high school years did Beckett spend a semester in Kiev?
She was a junior, right?
Yeah, it was between her junior and senior year.
Okay, because I thought she said junior. Okay, yeah.
Question 4. Which actor does Castle say is going to be in the Asteroids movie?
Mm. Mm. Um, mm.
It's Ryan Reynolds.
And that's funny because, like, Ryan Reynolds, I guess this is the year the proposal came out, so that would have been a big year for him.
Okay. Question 5. What hand does Castle beat the 3 queens with?
I have no idea because I don't know anything about poker. I'm going to say it's a full house.
He called it an inside straight, and I had to go look that up because I didn't know what that was. The Google says that it's a hand with 4 of the 5 cards needed for a straight, but missing 1 in the middle. For example, 9 missing the 8, 7, 6, 5. I don't know. I guess that's. I mean, there's different versions of poker, so I guess that's yeah. Okay, last question. This one's hard. How much money was the cocaine in John Allen worth?
$1 million.
Close. It was 750,000. They said 750,000, so close though.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It is. That's what I was like. Wow, when they said that, I was like, wow, that much? Oh goodness. So, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm just glad that, they worked it out. And actually, I'm just glad they acknowledged that there was an issue,
Yeah.
right? Because kind of how the way that episode 10 of season 1 left off, like he was telling her what he'd done. And so we didn't really know how this would go, but I'm glad that she kind of stuck to her guns and didn't just let him get by with it. Like there had to be a reconciliation.
And I like that I took the whole episode, so instead of just like being resolved in like the first 10 minutes or something.
Exactly.
It felt a little more sincere that way, so if you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, we hope you'll consider taking a minute to leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. For our question of the week, leave us a comment on Spotify, YouTube, or Reddit and tell us what kind of poker they were playing because we don't know.
Yes, educate us.
I think everybody's mostly familiar with Texas Hold'em, but it doesn't seem like that's what they're playing. So yeah, I would love to know the answer to that. If you'd like to join additional conversations about Castle, you can visit the Castle subreddit at reddit.com/r/CastleTV. To contact me and Neoshia, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Threads, or Blue Sky at Rom-Com Detectives, or leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on February 3rd, 2026. Rom-Com Detectives Castle Unit is co-hosted by Crystal Watanabe and Neoshia Roemer and is produced by Pico's House. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time for our breakdown of episode 2, The Double Down. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.